Hello everybody, you meet me at a garage with a Progen. Now Progen are actually doing quite well right now. They have a few mile ranges of supercars, and they have their flagship, of course, the T20. But they weren't always like this. You see, back in the 1990s, they were just invented as a car company. Problem is, they didn't have any cars. So they began to work on a secret project. It would be mid-engine, it would be rear-wheel drive. Its goal, be the best car the performance world had ever seen. It was a tough undertaking for their first time ever. And they needed an engine. So they contacted the German engine masters at Ubermacht. And Ubermacht agreed to supply them with a ultra-high-tech, naturally aspirated V12 for their new supercar. And after lots of money and lots of time, this was the result that came out. This is what they came up with. It's a 640 horsepower, naturally aspirated V12 powered supercar that was, for almost 10 years, the fastest production car in the world. It's brilliant. It is still, to this day, the GP1. The fastest naturally aspirated car ever made. Yeah, the GP1's good. The GP1 is very good. I mean, it's astounding. The noise, the speed are all incredible. But the best thing about this car is the way that it handles. The grip is genuinely incredible. It's got so much grip, I'm actually struggling to slide around. It just darts into every corner. It is like I've grown a car on my hands and feet. It is by far one of the best handling cars I've ever heard of and driven in my life. Well done, Progen. Well done indeed. And since people loved this car so much, they wanted to take it racing. Now, this is a completely new manufacturer, just invented a few years ago. Their first production car. They never competed in this type of in the 24 hours of Le Mans before. And they're competing against top tier prototypes with teams that have been in this for almost a decade. No one was expecting them to do well in the 1995 24 hours of Le Mans, and they had to make it big. So they made this. It's called the Tyrus. It is a slightly modified GP1. It has an aero package, it has a brakes package, and it's been stripped out. But the engine and the drivetrain are pretty much identical. Only difference is the engine has 2 more horsepower. So it wasn't compromised in any way. No, not even a little bit. This is somehow even grippier than the road version. It's slightly slower because of the aerodynamics, but it is better sounding and it is faster around a track. Oh, it is faster. That is ridiculous. It just goes and goes. It is the perfect road car to take on Le Mans. But still, it's quite a challenge for this guy. Especially when this is their main rival. The ANNIS RE7B. A fully race-prepared tubular space frame chassis, rotary-powered race car. It won the 1993 24 Hours of Le Mans 2 years ago, so it has quite a pedigree. And it's quickly turned into a titanic battle between the road-going racers that the FIA wanted to secure, and the back catalog of record-setting dominant race cars. Let's see how this thing handles, shall we? I must say, gullwing doors automatically a bonus. And that noise, oh that noise. And then you get to the corners, oh my god. If I thought the tires ripped, this thing is on another level. Oh, this is a wonderful car on the corners. It is very brutal in the suspension front, I will be honest. And it noise, very loud. Does redline at 11,000 RPM after all. But this thing is fast. This thing is very quick. Oh. They certainly knew what they were doing with this car. Yes! Go! 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 Fly around that corner. It is a brilliant car. On the qualifying grid, they did manage to score an impressive podium for the qualifying. And when they went off in the rain, the road cars instantly had an advantage over their much grippier prototype cousins in the rain. That still doesn't mean they spun their wheels, because it was a very difficult first few hours of the race. Rain and just general lack of grip plagued every manufacturer, every car. But the Progens just about held on to the lead until the rain went away. And then the ultra-grippy, high-end prototypes slowly passed them for the lead, and it began to fall back on the field. The prototypes had just too much grip. The Progens could not keep up. The tires was fast, but it simply did not have the aerodynamics, the traction, the handling of these prototypes. And it was starting to struggle. It was starting to struggle as the end of the first day loomed. But they were almost keeping up with the prototypes. They were within a 20-second gap. Yikes. And that gap only changed during the tire changing antics, because it quickly went crazy. Some were betting on a rain shower overnight. Some were betting on cold weather. And by nightfall, the tires resulted in several accidents. And as a result, it was only a matter of time until the big one eventually occurred. And that happened right around midnight on the flat-out corner. This caused a almost half an hour delay on the race as they cleaned it up, and he was sent to hospital. And this gave Progen some needed time, because earlier on in the night, they had a problem where they had a tire puncture at almost 230 miles an hour. This cost them over 10 minutes as they limped their way halfway around the track into the pits. And from there, it seemingly only got worse for Progen, because by morning, another one of their GP1 tires had broken down altogether due to engine failure. But despite this, and thanks to the grid reshuffle due to that crash, one GP1 was back in the lead on the final few hours of the morning of the 1995 24 Hours of Le Mans. And try as the prototypes might, they could not catch the GP1 tires fast enough. They were just too far behind, and it was just, the driver was going like mad, and as a result, Progen, a brand new manufacturer racing for the first time, successfully won the 1995 24 Hours of Le Mans outright. It really is a remarkable achievement, not just for the car, but for the company, and it proved that road cars can still race at Le Mans. This is an important car. This is a very important car. And I absolutely love it. It is unequivocally perfect.